Hello, welcome back. So in this video, we'll continue our 26th PMO Olympiad qualifying stage solutions. So we're now in the second part of the qualifying stage, and for this video, we'll discuss two problems. The first one being shown here. So basically, we're looking for the remainder when 2023 raised to 12 squared is divided by 26. Now, this number is quite big, and I hope you don't try to evaluate this by hand. To answer this one, we'll use some number theory concepts, primarily what we call the totient function. The totient function, denoted by phi of n, counts the number of positive integers x less than n such that GCD, or the greatest common divisor of x and n, is equal to 1. In other words, these are the numbers that are relatively prime to n. For example, let's consider the totient or the phi of 12. If we list all numbers less than 12, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's write 12 as well, just for the fun of it. Now we know that 2 is a divisor of 12. So any number below 12 that has or that are multiples of 2 are not relatively prime to 12. So we cancel this out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then 3 is also a divisor of 12. So any multiple of 3 is or should be removed from this list. So the 3, the 6 we have already canceled out. And then the 9. 5 is not a divisor of 12, 7 is not a divisor of 12, 11 is not a divisor of 12. Therefore, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 numbers lower than 12 that are relatively prime to 12. So the totient of 12 is 4. Now we can calculate this without manually counting by multiplying 12 by 1 minus 1/2, where 2 is the prime divisor of 12. And then we multiply again 1 minus 1/3, since 3 is also a prime number divisor of 12. We simplify this. This is 12 times 1/2 times 2/3. Cancel this 2 out. We have 12 divided by 3, which is 4, which is the same as what we got. Now, how do we make use of this totient function? Fermat's theorem suggests that let's call A raised to phi of n is congruent to 1 mod n if the greatest common divisor of a and n is equal to 1. In other words, whenever a and n are relatively prime, the remainder when a is raised to the totient of n is always equal to 1. Gets? Okay. Now, if you go back to the problem, we have here 2023 to the 12 squared mod 26. Mod 26 basically is just finding the remainder when this number is divided by 26. We find that first the totient of 26. Phi of 26 is equal to 26 times the prime divisors of 26, which are 2 and 13. So this is 1 minus 1/2 times 1 minus 1 over 13. If we simplify this, we have 26 times 1/2 times 12 over 13. Cancel out the 13 here. So this is 1. Cancels out the 2. This 1 as well. So the answer here is 12. Therefore, phi of 26 is 12. Gets? So, we have here that we can conclude from here that 2023 to the 12 is congruent to 1 mod 26 from this Fermat's theorem. Note, I forgot to mention that we are able to apply this because 2023 and 26 are relatively prime to each other, which means they have no common factors. Otherwise, if they have common factors, then we cannot do this. Right? So we have here that 2023 to the 12 is congruent to 1. But we have here 12 squared. What we have to do now is find 12 squared mod 12. Basically, we want to write this as 2023 to the 12, 2023 to the 12, oops, 2023 to the 12, and so on. And then just find what's left from there. But 12 squared is divisible by 12. So basically, this whole thing is congruent to, oops, this, I'll write it here, 2023 to the 12 squared is congruent to 2023 to the 0, which is congruent to 1 mod 26. Yes? So the answer here is, the remainder here is 1. Yes? Yes? So that's pretty simple if you know this theorem right here. Again, you just find the totient and then make use of that totient and then divide by divide the remainder by 26, whatever that result may be. Okay? Next problem. The second problem is this one. We have 2024 coins laid out in a row. For some positive integer x, at least 2/3 of the first x coins are heads, and at least 4/5 of the last x coins are tails. What is the maximum possible value of x? Now let's say this is your 2024 coins. Say this is 0, this is 2024. Let's say this is your x, this is your first x. And then this is, let's say this is your last x. Right here, this is your last x. This is your first x, and then this is your last x. If you want to maximize the value of x, this you should be able to make use of the heads and tails from both of this. In other words, these two must overlap. Is that clear, or is that a vague explanation? Anyway, the point is that from here we have 2/3 being heads, and from here we have 4/5 being tails. If we want to maximize the value of x, we must add these two, and their total sum, their count, must be less than the total number of coins, which is 2024. Right? Now, if we simplify this, we get 2/3 plus 4/5. So that's common denominator of 15. So this is 10. This is 12x less than or equal to 2024. This is 22x over 15 less than or equal to 2024. Multiply both sides by 15 over 22. So we have here 2024 times 15 over 22. Now this is divisible by 2, 1012, so this becomes 11. 1012 is also divisible by 11, and if we do that, we get 92. Therefore, x must be less than or equal to 92 times 15. And if we multiply that, we get 1380. So that's in the choices, right? But are we sure that it's already the answer? Note that this is something we just set up. With the idea that the total sum of the heads and tails here must be less than 2024. Whenever you set up this kind of inequality, the next step, actually the final step, once you get the solution to the inequality, is to always show that the equality holds for some values of x. Because while it is true that you have shown that x is less than 1380, all of the choices in the question are values less than 1380. So if you are or if you want to be rigorous about it, we have to check if this inequality or this equality actually holds. That is, that there is an actual value of x where the equality is satisfied. Okay, so to show that, you just have to look at the 1380 that we have obtained. 1380, 2/3 of that is 920. Then 4/5 of that is 1104. So if we lay out the coins, these are, let's say, 2024 coins from the 0 count to the 2024. So you have here 1380, so this is 1380. So if you go back to find 1380 from here, you will be somewhere here. This is not drawn to scale, by the way, sorry. And this overlap right here, the count of this overlap is, how do we count that? We count that by adding this and adding that, so that's 2 times 1380 minus the total whole, that's 2020, that's 2024. And the difference of that is 636. So there are 636 coins where the first X and the last X overlap. Right? So we want here to have, 920 heads on the first X. So we want to count this part. So this is 1380 minus 636. That is 644. So let's say that this first set has exactly 644 heads. So this is 644 heads. How many heads should you have in this overlap region? So that's 920 minus 644 gives you 276. If my arithmetic is right, yes. So you have here 276 heads. You must have here 276 heads. And then, out of the 636, you have 276. So you must have 636 minus 276. 60. 360. You must have 360 tails in this overlap. Yes? Get it? So if you have 360 here and you have 644 tails here, again, this is the last part after the overlap. You have 644 here as well, but now we assume all of them are tails. So we have here 644 tails. The total tails on the last X is 360 plus 644, and that gives you a total of 1044, which is wrong. We must have a total of 1104. Oops, sorry, this is 1004. Still wrong, should be 1104. I think we did an arithmetic error right here, which is, where did you get that? Right here, sorry, this should be 736, my bad. This should be 736 right here. And this should be 460 there. So the total should be 1104 tails. So we are able to show that there is a configuration where we have 920 heads on the first 1380 and 1104 tails on the last 1380, which confirms our assumption that there exists a configuration where this equality holds. Okay, so the answer here is actually 1380. If you're in a rush, like for this time constrained contest or exam, you may skip the last part of the discussion that I made. Those are more like formally justifying our answer. But this is the Philippine Mathematical Olympiad, which supposedly is to prepare you for more rigorous exams later on. So I suggest that you develop that sort of practice of always looking at the full solution, like justifying something whenever or whenever whenever necessary. Okay? So I think this took a longer time that I had hoped. So I'm sorry for the extended discussion, but I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, clarifications, or violent reactions, just let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.